Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about my most used products in 2023. So these include my makeup and skincare products. So if you want to know how I achieved this look and also what is my skincare routine, a lot of you asked me this question, then please keep on watching. But before we start, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura, and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. And if you are a fragrance lover, then please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Also follow me on Instagram, where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. I will highly appreciate it if by the end of this video you found it helpful or you enjoyed it, to give me a thumb up. That will help me a lot. And without further ado, let's start. So I already filmed my most used fragrances. So if you are curious about the fragrances that I used most during this year, you will find this video in the description down below, as well as a playlist for the whole series. This is part of my 2023 recap series, where I go through everything that I've tested and tried and I used during the year. I do this recap series every year and I try to be as comprehensive as possible. So we have skincare, makeup, everything. So if you are wondering about my makeup, about my skincare, everything, only fragrances, then please check the playlist down below and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Now let's get to my most used makeup products. And this is a full face of all my favorite makeup products, or the ones that I used during this year. And I filmed myself putting this makeup on. So when I speak about every product, you can see me applying it. So let's start with what I would consider a primer. Now, I am not a fan of primers. They never worked for me, except of maybe the color correcting one, but I mean, not really. So for me, my primer is the Glow Screen from Supergoop. Yes, this is a sunscreen. This one works stunningly under makeup. Also the unseen one, but if you want a glowy effect, almost like having the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter, I don't remember how it's called, floral filter, I don't remember the name, under your foundation. This works the same for me, and I cannot believe that some people use this sunscreen on its own. As you can see, it's so glowy, you look like Tin Man, unless you are using a small amount which will not give you sun protection. This does not work on its own. Under makeup, yes. On its own, absolutely not. Now, if you want a strict primer, and I do have some, the most used one is this, the Photo Finish Minimize Pores from Smashbox. Yes, this is the pre-reformulated packaging. And I actually did a comparison to show you that these primers do not work. So I put half on this side of my face and the other half without it. And yes, initially you will see that my pores are blurred on the side where I used this primer, but after putting the makeup on, it looks the same, especially with the technique that I always use, that I am using now for almost a year or even more, since I got more oily skin. Currently it's not oily, but for the purpose of this video, I showed you my makeup routine during the majority of the year. So I use the powder. Now I don't have the powder anymore because while filming this video, it completely chattered. It was already chattered, but the lid came off, so I had to throw that powder away, and it is the Infallible powder from L'Oreal. Now this on its own I would not recommend. When that came out, a lot of people were raving about it, how it's so beautiful and amazing, and I just hated it. But I found that this powder works beautifully with the technique that I use for oily skin. So I powder actually my face before foundation. Yes, it may seem crazy for a lot of you, but it actually works. If you have oily skin, this is the best technique ever. You will have flawless skin. Pores are not there. Trust me, it's absolutely the best way to control oil and shine if you are oily. And I would go and say that you can actually use it also if you have normal skin. Not if you have dehydrated or dry skin. I would not recommend this technique, absolutely not. But if you have normal skin, then do the following. Now, as you can see, after applying the powder, I went with the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist. This was almost like a setting spray for me when I used to have dry skin. Now, if you put powder and then spread something like this or anything that has a little bit of hydration, of hydrating properties above the powder before going in with your foundation, you can actually pull this technique off with normal skin. But usually I actually do not go with setting powder, not even with hydrating mist, nothing. I go immediately with my foundation. And my most used foundations this year are the L'Oreal Nude Skin Eau Accord Parfait Nude Serum Foundation from L'Oreal. This is my holy grail. It's the second year that I swear by it and I include it in this video. But I also used a lot the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. Trust me, this one looks like skin. It has more coverage than the L'Oreal one, but it looks like skin. It looks flawless. I always get complimented when I wear this foundation. So highly, highly recommend it. For this look, I went with NARS Reflecting Foundation because I wanted a little bit more coverage, but both of these foundations I swear by. Next, I also changed a little bit my under eye situation routine, and I am not using a lot anymore than Becca now Smashbox brightening under eye, and I go to Charlotte Tilbury. This is in 2 medium. This is the under eye corrector and it works beautifully. As you can see, you can also wear it on its own. I also heard great things about the one from Huda Beauty, but I prefer the consistency of this one that is a little bit like almost balmy to concealer consistency, if that makes any sense. My most used under eye concealer, of course, it's the same as every year. NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I love this concealer. I cannot live without it. And I don't know people who say, yeah, it's not so great anymore. There are better alternatives. I tried a lot. I still have to try the one from Natasha Denona, which everybody is raving about, but I always go back to my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. It just works. The consistency is right, especially for my mature skin, so I love it. But for brightening reasons, and also because I want to use the concealer, the Huda Beauty Full Filter Concealer, I'm not hating it, but I definitely love the consistency of the NARS one better. It has very full coverage. As you can see, a little bit, it goes a long way. And because the shade is not exactly right for me, I always use it now to brighten my under eye and also the center of my face. Now let's speak about powders, and I have a lot of powders to talk about. First one is the one that I use under my eye. I do not use anything else. I've tried a lot of things. This is the best, especially if you have wrinkles, you have a mature skin. Hyaluronic powder from By Terry is the best. It is absolutely stunning. And I use it only under my eyes because it does not work for the rest of my skin, for the rest of my face, because I have oily skin, as I said. So I need something a little bit more mattifying. But this under the eyes is absolutely stunning. It's also a powder that I would highly recommend for mature, dry, dehydrated skin. Go with this powder. It's absolutely stunning and cannot recommend it enough. For the rest of my skin, I go with my trusted translucent loose powder from Laura Mercier. I know they reformulated now this powder, but It will take me years and years before finishing this powder. I usually go with this powder all over my skin. It's also one of the powders that I use for my technique, so under foundation works beautifully. Then I have my finishing powder, and it is this Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette. I have this now for a very, very long time, years I think, and I never really got the hype. This year, with changes in my body, in my skin, oh my God, I love this powder. I never got this, amazing like finish that everybody raved about. Now I get it. I get it. As you can see, it just brings life to my skin. This is worth every penny if you have mature skin. Sometimes when I have the time, actually, I use them individually, but I don't have the time. So usually I just go with all three colors all over my skin, and it works stunningly. My most used bronzer. Actually, I used a lot of bronzers, but I have to say my most used one is the Ambient Radiant Bronze Light from Hourglass again. This is too light, I have to admit, to my skin, but it works beautifully for every day, for a no makeup look. If you don't want to do like a full glam look or something like that, this works beautifully. And the only issues that I have with Hourglass powders, it's so densely, packed. You have to go very strong with your brush to get it. But yeah, it's worth it. Love, love, love this one. When I finish this one, I think it will take me years and years to finish it. Then I would get the darker color. Now for contour, I used a lot this palette from Charlotte Tilbury, not available anymore. This is the Nude Gasm Face palette. And honestly, I got this one because everybody raved about it. And I have to say it's not worth it for me. The issue is that you have these two that are too similar. I wanted more a warm color on this one to be a bronzer, and they are again the same issue with the one from Hourglass. To get any payoff, I need to dig very deep with my brush to get anything out of it. So I hate it for that, but I used it a lot. So I go first with the contour and with the blush that has this light reflecting, almost highlighter effect to it. So sometimes I don't even use a highlighter when I use that blush. But if I have to choose one highlighter, it will be this one. As you can see, it's quite loved. This is from Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Beauty Light Wand. Hate the applicator. It's a mess. It's getting everywhere, as you can see. Oh my God. And then it dries and it's difficult to get the rest, and as you can see, it's everywhere. Beautiful reflecting highlighter. It looks like your skin. It's beautiful, but I don't think that I'm going to repurchase this one, I have to admit. And I also used a lot this one from Natasha Denona. This is the Glam Face palette and for light skin, and honestly, I am using it to finish it because it's, I don't know, because it's just not it for me. Now, when it comes to eyes, my most used palettes are this one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Novo palette. And when I got this one, I was almost, regretting my purchase. I think I spoke about this one last year, but I used it so much this year. It's just beautiful, especially this color here. Oh, let me swatch it for you. It's this duochrome that is so beautiful. I have it on my eyes. Mascaras. My most used mascara, I think it was also the one from last year. This is the Falsies Lash Lift from Maybelline. Love it. It gives a lot of volume. and lift to my eyelashes. For my bottom lash, I go with the Sky High from Maybelline. Don't like this one on my top lashes, it does nothing. But yeah, these are my go-to, and I have a lot of mascaras, but these are the ones that I'm always returning to. My most used pencil is Endless Cacao from Makeup Forever. I use this one mostly to contour. So as you can see, I go just under my lips and above, just in the center to give a pout. Then my most used color is, of course, from Huda Beauty. This is my favorite lip pencil. This is in the color Honey Beige. Love this color. It's very versatile, and I have a lot of Huda Beauty lip pencils. So that is my most used lip pencil. My most used lipstick was very difficult because I have a lot of lipsticks, but I think I used mostly this one from Revlon. This is Matte Balm from Revlon, and the color is this gorgeous pinky peachy. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color, especially if you have like a statement maker eye makeup like I'm having today, or as a summer shade, you know, if you are bronzed. Oh, looks beautiful. I have also to mention this one from L'Oreal. It's also the one that I used a lot last year. I don't even remember how they are called. I Accentuate is the color that I use the most, especially summer and spring. It's a plumping formula. It does work, but not like, you know, extremely. Then for lip gloss, I used these mostly. I used one from Anastasia in the color Bubbly. As you can see, it has this golden sheen, so perfect for beige, nudie colors. And this one from Huda Beauty, which is called Bold Gold. It's definitely more gold than the one from Anastasia. But since I am having like a peachy moment here, I used Anastasia. But these two are my most used lip gloss for this year. And to finish, I have my favorite setting spray. Very hyped, but definitely worth the hype. The Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray from Charlotte Tilbury. Love, love, love this one. It really, really sets your makeup without drying your face. It's stunning. I don't know what Charlotte Tilbury did with that setting spray, but it works perfectly. It doesn't dry my skin. It sets the makeup. It's absolutely beautiful and highly, highly recommended. So these were my go-to makeup products this year. Of course, I used more, but I just returned over and over to these specifically. But before we go, I have an honorable mention. And it is an honorable mention because although it's a product that I use a lot, I am not totally convinced. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. As I said, I am suffering now from oily skin. And whatever I do, even with my technique, after a few hours, just a little bit of shine does come through, especially here on my chin and here around my nose. So as you can see, I have quite a dent on this powder. I go with a powder puff and just use it here and here to just reduce the shine in this area. As you can see, it's absolutely a stunning powder. However, it does not last. This effect doesn't even last an hour before it totally vanishes. And I would not recommend this powder under your eyes. Guys, don't do it. Don't do it. It will look horrible. Unless you have maybe perfect under eyes, you are still in your 20s, or maybe you are a teenager, of course you can do it. But with the slightest wrinkle on your under eyes, this will immediately settle in these fine lines and it doesn't look flattering at all. It dries my under eyes. So yeah, not recommended for your under eyes. It does work beautifully to set your T-zone, but not even that lasts. So I don't know. For the price tag, I'm not going to recommend this powder, but I use it a lot to set this area. So yeah, it is technically one of my most used products. So let's get to my most used skincare products. Let's start with cleansing balm, because I use cleansing balm not only when I wear makeup, but also on a daily basis. I double cleanse always because I have a lot of sunscreen on my face, and the best way to get rid of your sunscreen is cleansing balm. Trust me, using only your cleanser usually doesn't get everything, and I use a lot of cleansing balm, and I'm testing a lot because I'm preparing for a buying guide for all the cleansing balms or the hyped cleansing balm on the market. So I've used a lot of cleansing balms. My favorite, especially I would say for every day, it works for makeup also, but for every day, is the Beauty of Joseon. This is quite a hyped brand, and I don't know how to pronounce it. A Korean brand that got a lot of hype, and I have to say I am loving this brand. Not so much the sunscreen, however. So you have here your spatula, and then as you can see, I've almost finished this cleansing balm, and I have already bought another one because I love it. It's beautiful. It leaves my skin clean, but at the same time hydrated somehow. So it's so beautiful, especially mixed with other products from the Beauty of Joseon. So in concoction with these serums and everything, oh my god, my skin was in amazing condition. So highly recommend this cleansing balm. It's one of the best I have ever tried. It is on the pricey side, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Then I go with my regular cleanser, and here I have to mention what I use during the summer and winter because they are different. During the summer and part of winter, I go with the CeraVe SA cleanser. This is amazing. For summer, I use it daily, morning and evening, because it has the salicylic acid, so it helps a lot with my acne. However, it doesn't strip out, it doesn't overly strip my skin. So for summertime and in the evening, during winter, this is my go-to. In the winter, for mornings, I am not very rigid with my skincare routine. So I see what my skin needs. If I find that my skin wants something a little bit, cleansing, a little bit deep, I go with this one, even in the winter. If I see that my skin is not very hydrated, it looks a little bit dull, maybe it needs a boost of hydration or something, I go with the hydrating cleanser, which is in my bathroom. I forgot to bring it, and I'm too lazy to go and get it. It's more mild and hydrating, but it doesn't cleanse as well as the SA one, and this is why I use it in the morning, because actually a lot of dermatologists say that you don't need to cleanse your face in the morning unless you see that there is a lot of oils build up on your skin. Otherwise, you can just wash your skin with water. Now, I cannot do that because if I do that, most probably I will break out. So my choice would be a hydrating cleanser like that one. With cleansers out of the way, let's divide my skincare routine in morning and evening routine. In the morning, I usually first go with the caffeine solution from The Ordinary, and I use this one for under my eye. I do extend it a little bit here on my cheek because I know that caffeine can help a little bit with my rosacea. Did it work? Not, but it did not hurt. Anyway, this one I have now for over a year and it's still not finished. So yeah, it's very affordable and it lasts so long. So this one I use in the morning. Afterward, I go with my serum, and usually in the morning I go with my peptide serum. Now I have here the Biossance one. This is squalene plus copper peptide rapid plumping serum. It has hyaluronic acid. I'm not a fan of hyaluronic acid, to be honest. It's a little bit finicky in the sense that If you are living in an environment that doesn't have a lot of humidity, you actually may damage your skin. Damage in the sense that you will find your skin actually dry. And I tried it, and it is true. So many products have now, it's the same like niacinamide. It's in every single product. So it's sometimes a little bit too much. So I decided to avoid hyaluronic acid. However, I got this one in my last year advent calendar from Cult Beauty, and I have to say that I really, really like it. Usually I go with the ordinary Buffett plus copper peptide serum. This is the blue one. It's quite expensive, I have to say, for the ordinary, and I go with that. So usually I went with that one, but since I had this in the advent calendar, I'm using it and I'm loving it. Is it replacing my ordinary one? No. It is more elegant, like cosmetically elegant, and it leaves this beautiful effect on my skin, but I find more results with the one from the ordinary. So after finishing this one, I don't think that I'm going to repurchase it, and I will return to this one from the ordinary. Then I usually go with my moisturizer. Now for summer, I sometimes, actually most of the times, I go straight to my sunscreen, especially if it's a hydrating one, because I am oily, so I don't need a lot of moisturizer. If I feel like my skin is a little bit dry, I have to say I go with any cream that I have. If it's a little bit too thick, I just use a small amount, like to spread it. So yeah, actually
during summer, I didn't find yet a moisturizer that I am absolutely in love with. I used this summer the Bioma Moisturizer Gel Cream. This has ceramides, niacinamide, and green tea. Great ingredients. It's okay, but I'm not sure that I'm going to repurchase it. Then I go with my sunscreen. During summer, I have to say I have not like one particular sunscreen that I am dedicated to. I didn't find yet the best for summer. So if you want to see all the sunscreens that I've tested during this year, especially during summer, you will find it in my empties video. If I didn't upload that yet, then please stay tuned. Now, during winter is where I definitely have to go with a moisturizer, and my moisturizer of choice is this one, La Roche-Posay Cicaplast. This is the gel B5. Now they have also the balm B5, but for evening during the summer, this is the one I go to. It's lighter, it has more of a gel consistency, and it has a very, very strange feeling. It's almost water, but it's very, very hydrating. It has a funky smell, and I'm not going to tell you what it reminds me of, not to put you off this cream. It fades away, you don't get it. It's only when you first apply it you will get, what is this smell, you know, but it immediately goes away, so don't worry. This is my favorite one. It's absolutely stunning. B5 is one of the ingredients that I'm always looking for. So this is my go-to morning moisturizer during the winter, and I use it in the summer in the evening. Now, my evening routine is a little bit more complex and depends on the day. So one day I go with retinol. Now I have this one from Hyram with the Inky List. This is the Selfless by Hyram one. I'm not really loving it, so I am using it up, but this is the one that I use the whole year. Yeah, this one I have now for over a year and it's not finished yet. Mainly because during summer, I almost cut my retinol from my skincare routine because I'm afraid from the sun exposure and etc. So I usually go heavy with my retinol during winter, not summer. Anyway, it lasts a very long time. It's almost finished actually, finally, and I don't think that I'm going to purchase it. So I go with retinol. After retinol, and I usually don't use any serum before retinol, and I go afterward with a thick layer. I mean, I look almost like a ghost with the Cicaplast B5 balm from La Roche-Posay, just to prevent this dry effect that sometimes retinol leaves your skin with. Next day, I will go with my I would say, usual routine, which would be alpha arbutin. I have here the one from The Ordinary. This is my favorite one. I also used the one from Beauty of Jusson, but I am not sure if I'm liking it as much as the Ordinary one. Then I go with the peptide serum, this one or The Ordinary. I am using this one now. And then my moisturizer. Now, during the summer, as I said, I am using the Cicaplast, and during the winter, again, I am using this one. Third day, I go with acids, so exfoliating, and I always go with azelaic acid. This is perfect because I have rosacea, and I have a very thick layer of Cicaplast. Then I have 2 days, I take off like these strong actives, and I try to nourish my skin. I'm really focusing on nourishing. So again, I go with alpha-arbutin, the peptide, and then a mask, like an overnight mask. The ones that I used this year is this one from Cosrx. This is the Ultimate Nourishing Rice overnight mask. Although I've used it all year, it's empty actually, and I enjoyed it. I'm not sure that I am going to repurchase it. I want to discover more overnight masks. So if you have any suggestion, tell me in the comments down below. Highly appreciated. So I go with this overnight mask, and the next day I just do my usual skincare routine. So alpha-arbutin, the squalane, the peptide, and a moisturizer. And then I continue the cycle. Now for my eyes, I have these two. So I use usually first Vacation Eyes Brightening Eye Gel. And I use specifically things for my eyes, although technically you can use a moisturizer under your eye, because a lot of the products that I use is specifically written on it not to use under your eyes. I don't know why. Honestly, not all of them. If for example, the CeraVe cream, I can definitely use under my eyes. So when I'm using a product that says specifically not to use under your eyes, I usually go with this one, and then with the CeraVe cream for under eyes above it. And there is nothing special about these products, I have to say. Not finding this one really out of this world beautiful or exciting, so I'm not going to repurchase it. The ones from CeraVe, however, I am. I love CeraVe. You all know how much I'm obsessed with CeraVe. So yeah, this definitely is going to be repurchased over and over and over, and I love it. If you have any eye cream or specific cream for under the eyes that you love, yeah, I am open to any new suggestion. Tell me in the comments down below. Now, for those days where I don't know, I finished my cream, I am lazy, I don't want to use anything, I just cleanse my face and go with my trusted CeraVe moisturizer. This is my holy grail. I am using this now for years and years and years. It's only now that since I discovered this gel from La Roche-Posay that kind of replaced the CeraVe moisturizing cream, but not totally. If you are on a budget, you want a no fuzz and you want something that really works, this is the one. It's beautiful. I am currently using it on my body, but still I use it a lot on my face when I am out of this one, or sometimes I'm just craving the CeraVe cream. I don't know. I love it. And also my skin really, really love it. And for winter time, my go-to sunscreen is this one from Paula's Choice. This is the Skin Restoring Moisturizer Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This is amazing, amazing. Now, I do not use it to reapply unless I feel like my skin is a little bit dehydrated or dry. Then I go over when I want to reapply my sunscreen. But usually I go with this one in the morning and then use any kind of sunscreen to reapply during the day. This cream leaves my skin with this almost velvety, not velvet, like smooth, beautiful skin you cannot imagine. It's very expensive, I know, but it's worth
every single penny. Love, love, love. Will always, always repurchase it. It's stunning. Also, I've discovered a lot of really great sunscreens this year. Still, this is my favorite one for wintertime. And that was it. These were my most used products in 2023. Please tell me in the comments down below what is your most used skincare product, specifically moisturizer. And if you have any suggestions for under eye cream, retinol cream, please tell me in the comments down below. I hope you liked this video and you found it helpful. And if you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. As I said, the playlist of all the 2023 recap series is in the description down below. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Ciao.